we've been going through all the different people that worked on Before You Depart, and now we've gotten to now we're getting to the game that's created by the writer of Before You Depart, which that's exciting because that, I think they're on like the list of like 5 people that have been able to get me to cry with their writing. So like that's something. This game's called I.C.O. Like Machina Lutris or something. I should have checked that part before I clicked. I fucked up already. It's in the title, you can see it. Oh, this game's anime as fuck. Those are quite the opening shots. Everyone's dead. The world was silent, and nothing but dusty winds, with nothing but dusty winds billowing faintly. Good start for me. We barely had time to react. It picked us off one by one until only I remained. My muzzle was broken. My spine had twisted unnaturally, and droplets of blood dribbled from a splitting wound carved into the back of my head. I fought by the captain's side. She had decades of experience on me. She'd seen more combat than any of us rookies combined. Now her feral's carcass lay several dozen meters to my right, shredded, with ribbons of red festooning from the cockpit. How was I still alive? Mangled though I am. Was there any way out? Any way for me to live another day? There has to be a way to survive. There just has to be. Or was it just toying with me, letting me languish in the aftermath of the slaughter, drawing out the suffering until the bleeding takes me? As if they could comprehend the idea of such cruelty. No, it probably just assumed I'm dead and took off. Either way, did it really matter if the end result's the same? I stared at the headset that was lying on the floor. Miraculously, it remained completely intact. Should I even bother? Should I even get my hopes up? It hurt to even move. What chances were there that I'd survive, even if they rescued me? No, just let it end. Give it up, and go peacefully. Oh, for fuck's sake. Forcing myself through splitting agony, I grabbed the headset and placed it over my ears. Dispatch! Emergency signal. I require help immediately. Even muttering those words burned, as if a match had been struck in my lungs. But the message was going through. A signal had been sent out. Any squadron in a 6-kilometer radius would have been able to pick up on that. Someone's gotta be there. They have to be. Maybe they can save me? Moments passed, and no answer. Come on, there has to be someone out there. Sending an emergency signal. I need help immediately. Another minute. Silence. I repeat, this is an emergency call from Garland Squadron. No answer. I repeat. Please. No answer. Anyone, please. No answer. I'm begging you. No answer. Motherfucker. I hurled the piece of junk and it smashed into the wall. I screamed, louder than I ever thought it was possible. Even when my voice gave out, I continued screaming and screaming until all that came out were sickly gasps. My throat was raw and my lungs hurt with every breath, yet it all paled compared to the hopelessness that scraped away in my guts. It turned and twisted like a corkscrew, winding my intestines into a knot. There's nothing I could do. No matter how much I scream, no matter how much I pray, there's nothing I could do to avoid the inevitable. This would be where I die. I leaned back, wheezing with eyes burning from the sting of tears. How did it come to this? How? I began imagining the people I'd leave behind, the lives they'd lead without me. Memories of their voices, moments of intimacy, moments of conflict, the people I loved and the people I hated. Just this morning, I was bantering with my comrades like normal. Just this morning, I had made plans to see my parents in a few weeks. And they'd all carry on without me. What? Crackling noise blossomed from the headset. A voice. My heart leapt and I seized the headset. Hello? Hello?
This is Taiga Squadron. Come in.
My God, yes. A delighted howl took flight, and a sensation of life coursed back into my body. I'm going to live. Hello? Do you copy?
We read you, soldier.
Thank you. Dispatch a rescue team immediately. Garland Squadron has been completely wiped out.
Wiped out?
There was an unintelligible gibberish as the caller spoke with their crew. I couldn't quite make out what they were saying. Anxiety writhed like worms in my guts. I couldn't stay here any longer. Not when that thing is still out there.
Send us your coordinates.
Understood.
And your name?
My name is Monita.
Hold on one moment. I will check with my superior.
I imagined finally returning home for once. It had been so long. Hang on a minute. Is that a boop? Blank comma. Okay, that's what I thought the grammar looked weird. There is no default name in this game. I was like, the name is not Monita. My name is Javier. Javier Monita. I imagined finally returning home for once. It'd been so long. Mom's cooking. Dad's laughter. If I get out of here, I'm going back to them immediately. What the fuck were they waiting for? I'm already having the sinking suspicion, even a few lines ago, that I'm like, I think they want your coordinates so that they either can blow up this location to kill whatever the thing is that's so dangerous, or just to avoid it. I get the feeling that this character's not getting saved. If they do that, then it's very cruel to have the visual novel fake out of naming your main character that probably dies in that scene. Yes? What? He hesitated for a moment. Something was wrong. No, nothing's wrong.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry?
We're unable to dispatch units in your direction.
Don't fuck with me here. What are you talking about?
Our orders are to prioritize the safety of our cargo.
He swallowed.
The order is absolute.
I couldn't even muster the words. It's gone. right through my paws. Just abandoning me like this. To be torn apart by that monster. You piece of shit! My stammers turned into screams, my screams turned into violent insults, and my insults turned into pleas before the radio shut off. That is such a mean thing to do, to give the protagonist hope. They give you just long enough to wonder if this is a cold open character that dies. Then they give you hope, and then they let you name the character, which makes you think that they might survive, and then they kill the character. And then you might have named the character your name. I couldn't die here. I refused to let that thing win. The mega colony hadn't done anything for a while now. Why hasn't it sensed me yet? It was still here. What was it waiting for? If I get someplace safer, maybe they'll reconsider the rescue. There's nothing to lose at this point. Run unit diagnostics. Is that my... Who's the question mark character? Because the announcer was the intercom was in the intercom, and then I was Javier. I named myself. Critical overheat warning. Oh, that can't be good. I only got supposed to do that. Oh, God. The internal temperature's off the charts. If I overexert myself, I'd be leaving this world in a mushroom cloud. Close diagnostic window. Run recalibrations. Prepare Feral for launch. Every so often, a shadow danced in my field of vision, made my heart jolt with nerves. Some of them were scuttling about, peering from the shadows as if waiting for me to kick it. Small fry. Don't think about them. Just focus on the task at hand. I could only muster minor fixes to the Feral's control scheme. It should be enough to get me several clicks north. The Feral lurched as I trained my inputs. It took a full second to move a digit after input. Combat's out of the question. In that case, I could barely wield my blade. Doubt its distortion properties would even work anyways. This was going to be impossible, huh? It's futile. I knew it's futile. So why did I even try? It's time to get the scrap heap off the ground. Activate ventriloquist system. I don't think somebody else is talking, so I think it's just, like, not correctly showing the name sometimes. Weight. Texture. Gravity. Proprioception. Is that a real word? It all came flooding in as the V system labored to read me. I was in control now. Haggard by battle, but still functional at least. I'm back. I'm ready. My vigor renewed amid the just got every word wrong. My vigor renewed amid the odds. I stepped forward with my spirit rekindled. We're not gone yet? It was a daze. My body screamed in searing agony as fresh blood splattered the back of my seat. The ground had collapsed beneath me. Something attacked from below. I thought that like a rocket had hit. That's not good. Ventriloquist system has failed. Motion tracking reduced by 70%. So it's like, do you drift like in Pacific Rim? They have to physically act out what they're gonna do. Right leg unresponsive, left forearm unresponsive, internal pressure valves 2 through 5 destroyed, critical error, total unit failure imminent. Thank you for your service, soldier. Respite and death. No. The delirium abated, and in this place, a constricting terror took hold. My stomach was writhing with worms. My heart beat so fast I swore it might explode. But my mind was focused entirely on that thing that approached. Amid the plume of dust, it crept forward, cold and calculated. As it drew nearer, its image became clearer, and whatever delusions of hope I might have had simply perished. No. No, get back. Stay away. My last thoughts. God, what would my last thought be? Home? My family? Those things I wished I could tell them but didn't? Loves I never confessed? Lies I never corrected? For some reason, all I could think about was that time, years ago, talking to the captain about what happens when you die. I didn't know if she was pulling my tail or she believed in some bullshit science. But she said that your brain tries to comfort you in your last moments. When you're on that brink, it may feel like euphoria before it all goes dark. That thought, it was the only comfort I had. The only thing I could cling to. So please, just make it quick. Well, that was an extremely start. Wow. Blew that comment right out the window. That was an extremely strong opening. Jesus. The music, the visuals, there's a lot going on here. It is extremely anime. That's the only way I know how to describe the really specific way that had those like opening shots. You have the big desert and mechs and everything, obviously, but like that very specific emotion of like the I don't know how to convey the idea exactly, but like doing the matching shots of the hand and then the mech hand and so on, and the escalation and the how grim it is all. Like it's just a distinct cultural context. It's where I feel like it draws from. All right, I'll get you authenticated right away. Ardor Crater? That's not their name. That's their name is Bishop Judah. Okay. I was like, that's a wild fucking name to give your character, Ardor Crater. All right. It does. Oh yeah, it says it on the bottom of the screen too. I wasn't reading the text on the bottom. I was reading the card. And I'm like, okay, it's gonna have a last name, then a first name. So I thought their name was Ardor Crater. Pay grade E5. I don't know what any of that stuff means. It's a bunch of rankings or something. They're so small. Tiny little 5'2" man. Species Machina Lutris. I don't know what an otter is normally called. I don't know if it's in Hydra Lutris or not. But, wasn't the game like Machina Lutris or something? I'm not doing a good job at memorizing the subtitle of this game. First time here, Mr. Judah Bishop? Yes. Can we hurry this up? Sorry to keep you waiting. The tram will be here in 15 minutes. Here's your card back, sir. Good luck out there today, soldier. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Machina Lutris. There we go. Episode 1. Activate. Shit, I'm late. She better be on fucking time. Or she better be on the fucking line. I shut the booth's door and the cacophony of the station lowered to a faint murmur. My nose crinkled to a foul odor permeating the enclosed space. A carpet of abandoned fur lay scattered across the floor, the cold iron floor. Eyes sore, mouth dry. It was a 3 o'clock hour wake up. I guess it's an 0300 hour wake up call today, and the fatigue was murder. I always want to translate the time and say it like normal, but then that'll throw up the flow if it's phrased a certain way. Sorry. Still got con crud, even though this is probably coming out like a week and a half from now. I turned to face the comm box's main screen and tapped the surface of its smudged screen. Please input the recipient's information. It said it in a robotic voice garbled by static. The display shifted to a collage of numbers and forms. I scrolled through each of them, punching in whatever information it asked of me. There's one user, Marley Bishop, currently in the requested room. Connect with this user? I accepted. A moment passed before the silence turned to faint static, and a warm voice emanated from beyond the wires. Judah! Hey, Mom. Can you hear me? Is the quality good? It works just fine. She sighed and rubbed her brow. It better be. I spent a whole month's pay on this personal calling station. Anyways, how are you? How are you holding up? Oh, how's work going for you? Jerry's been working my tail off. Had to deal with a busted generator the other day. 12 fucking hours dealing with that. Place doesn't have running electricity, but hey, at least the fire's out. No kidding. Oh, and I thought I should tell you that there was a tiny breach yesterday. I shot up, nearly pressing my face against the screen's surface. The fuck? Are you okay? Fuck's sake, Judah, calm down. I wouldn't be talking to you if I wasn't. It was a small lockdown. Some of the warding material got eaten, but they took care of it. She swallowed before speaking with a tremble in her voice. I'm fine. You can't just say that and not expect me to freak out. If Urbane's dealing with a breach, even a minor one, Judah, that's enough. No, the situation was dealt with. Drop it. Judah? I sat back down, with teeth clenching so tightly I swore they were cracking under the pressure. Sorry about that. I shouldn't have brought it up, she said with a look of deep shame. Are you certain you can do this, Judah? What do you mean? You're still acting like that. Mom, of course I can. If it was it'd be different. She sat silently for a moment, eyes averted. There's nothing I can do about it anyways. This is all I've got now, you know that. We sat in dead silence for another beat. All your paperwork sorted out? Yes. Had my will submitted last night. You know what you'll be doing? I turned away, a knot twisting itself around in my stomach. Do we need to talk about this right now? Judah, I only want to make sure you're in the right headspace. You know what you'll be doing out there? It's just convoy work, 8 or 10 hours in the field. Well, so long as you're well defended, there shouldn't be too much to worry about. Have you met your squadron yet? Well, not yet. They're called Garland Squadron, I believe. Otter has something for flowers, apparently. Is this beforehand, I wonder? Or is this what happened to the last time they tried to do this? Well, make sure you get to know them at least. Well, I'll try. It's just... Well, it doesn't come easy, alright? And, I don't know. I mean, I've been fine anyways. Have you? Are you really fine, Judah? Yes. Are you sure? Yes, I'm fine. Before Mom could say another word, a voice echoed from outside.
The tram to Hangar 3 has just arrived and will be leaving in 5 minutes. All military personnel are required to show their identifications at the front reception. Thank you.
Shit. Our time was up. Oh, well, please, be safe out there. And be sure to call me the moment you get back. Her voice cracked. I could hear the lump balled up in her throat. She gave me one last look. Her mouth smiled as if to comfort me, but her eyes betrayed silence. Sadness. Good job. I love you, Judah. More than anything in the world. She stared at me so intensely, as if begging me not to go. What I would give to just spend all my time here, talking to her about mundane shit forever. I bid my farewell. Those might be the last words she hears from me. Love you too. Tonight, 1900, same chat room. I'll be sure to call you there if I get back. They were downplaying the risk a little bit earlier, or trying not to say it, basically. Because things are much worse than it seems.
The monorail will depart momentarily. Current destination, Hangar 3.
What'll be really fucked up is if you meet the character you named earlier, which would definitely set it up as being a prequel, that being a cold open that takes place later. But also is this just deeply tragic thing that also keeps ramping up the tension where you're like, okay, well then something's gonna fucking happen. And I guess Judah probably survives it, but then you get to see the fallout of, because the Garland company got wiped out, but they had to protect the cargo, which is where Judah would be, if that is later and not something that happened already. I wedged myself into the back of the car by the window, and after a few more passengers boarded, the doors shut.
The monorail will now be departing.
The tram lurched, wheels turned on the railing, and the car began to accelerate. I rested my head on the frame of the window and stared at the tunnel walls. As the tram continued, a light from the far end of the tunnel grew in intensity. These are some wild environments, by the way. Like, holy shit. They do look like animated stills. Ardor's air burned its way into my nostrils as the tram exited. It was offensive, like a mix of gasoline and burning rubber, stinging the eyes and nose with a relentless irritation you never grew completely used to. I peered downwards and spotted a wispy cloud hovering above the industrial district. Another strike? The tear gas cloud that seemed much larger than the previous week. Or it was another accident at the chemical engineering plant? Hard to tell. Though I could have sworn there were flashes of light accompanied by the faint popping of a semi-automatic. It was easy enough to tune out, so I leaned my head against the glass and shut my eyes. I rested my tail on the floor and assumed a comfortable position. Or about as comfortable as you could get with this kind of seating. God, I wanted to curl up in my shitty cot and sleep the week away. Maybe a minute of shut-eye or so. Excuse me, aren't you... Before my eyes could even open halfway, a shooting pain jolted up my tail. Motherfucker! I yelled and nearly leapt out of my seat. Pangs of agony pulsed from my tip, and I cradled it closely. I swear, if that cunt broke a bone. Standing up, I prepared a verbal beatdown on the twat. That's a face. You blind? Watch your damn paws, jackass. Only now did I notice how many people were staring at us. My pain turned to mortification, and I withdrew back into my seat. Whoa, hey, sorry about that. He was a canine, some yellow dog, a golden retriever? No, his ears are too pointed. The dog shuffled a bit, as if trying to find the words to say. What do you want? The dog's ears flicked. Sorry, mate, I just wanted to ask something. Your jumpsuit, it says Garland on the back, yeah? Garland, yes. Oh, well, ain't that convenient. Is this gonna be him? Didn't he have a blonde hand? The dog turned around to show the back of his jumpsuit. Of course, the word Garland was plastered right across it. Sea otter, yeah? Well, didn't think we'd be getting one of ya, specifically up here in Ander. I'm blowing the pronunciation a little bit. Here y'all are the fluffiest guys around. You are a sea otter, yeah? Well, I'll take that as a yes. I sat back down, clutching the throbbing pain at the end of my tail. To my horror, the dog wedged himself beside me, tail haphazardly thrown onto my lap. Well, nice to meet you. Sorry about the whole thing before. My name's Gil. Gillian Donato. Okay, this character is not named Javier. I saw the color of their hands and I was like, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Are they gonna do this? That would have been so mean. I brushed his tail off to the side. Alright. And, you are... He kept staring at me expectantly. The seconds flew before I finally conceded. Judah. Well, looks like you and me are gonna be partners, Judah. The mono should be arriving soon, so maybe I could show you around, meet the rest of the guys. This guy stepped on my tail and now he wants to serve as my tour guide? Listen, I'm not in the mood for something like this right now, just... I can find my own way around, alright? Gil let out a faint whimper. Are you sure? I mean, it's a pretty big complex. Yes, I'm certain. Leave me alone. Gil whimpered and shrunk back. Sorry. Well, I guess I'll see you there. He got up and shuffled away, looking quite upset. The music cut of just like, you just got shouted out and this conversation's over, and just like, no. Poor guy. He did have a very bad introduction though, but, God, I'm now just thinking of Gil's name. Damn it. Judah should be meeting the people he's gonna work with though. If for no other reason so that I can figure out if any of them are named Javier. Well, it wasn't not my problem. I got up way too early for this. I sighed and rested my head back against the glass. At least I could get some rest before...
The monorail will arrive momentarily. Please prepare to depart immediately.
That was a short ride. There's the giant mechs in the background. Oh, look at the cool glow of all the little light strips. These environments are really good. It's just really cool to see. It's also just like distinctly... This has been true for a few of the games I've played today, or that you've seen over the last week, but there's some real divergences in art style across the medium that's cool to see, because I don't necessarily want to see things all like merging into one one thing. In fact, to the point where, like, whenever I've heard this said before, both inside and outside of the furry fandom. I think Big Joel was asked about furries, and he's like, I don't like the art style. And then Monty Wolf in his videos says, yeah, I got into furries because I like the art style, and in both cases I'm like, is there the furry art style? Like, I guess like a certain combination of popular artists have things in common with each other, but there's no definitive furry art style, so it's a super weird thing to hear, because you can do anything with it. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can be the furry woodcutter that does woodcuts, and that's your entire thing. In fact, I've seen them. I've seen like 3 of them. So I'm like, what do you mean the furry art style? What does that mean? After getting off the tram, I hitched a ride on one of the hangar's transit cars. Miles upon miles, racing through the hangar's long stretch of track built into the earth. We stopped at Quadrant 3, at the 15th docking bay. It took me a little more than 9 minutes to arrive. It was an open space etched in the side of a runway where the ferals were docked. I wandered around a bit, unsure where to linger. Technicians were busy tending to the ferals held dormant in their shackles. In the center of Quadrant stood an AT, an armored transport. An ironclad hunk of that. Is it that or what? I feel like it should be what. It might be wrong, I'm not sure. An ironclad hunk of what looked more like a cube of steel than an actual vehicle. It looked like it weighed more than the ferals did. Its backside was wide open, being loaded with a mountain of supplies. Water, food, batteries, even clothing. It was enough to last me a lifetime. Between the ferals, the AT, and all the scurrying personnel, it was hard to find a place to linger for more than a few moments. I turned to spot a small table resting at the far corner of the hangar, where it appeared the 3 owners were waiting. No other option, I guess. I made my way towards them. One of them was the dog from earlier, whose ears perked as I entered. Look at those sad eyes. No. We exchanged an awkward glance before I turned to face the other 2. Closest to me was a portly sea lion leaning back in his seat casually. He cast a sideward glance at me and flashed a warm smile. Sorry, I wasn't ready for the glowing glasses. Oh, it's very funny. This is just an unearned level of intensity that's very funny in this context. At the end, tucked in the back, was a slight rat dotting a pair of thick lenses. He was too busy nibbling at his claws to even look up as I entered. That is also a very undignified thing to be doing when you, like in the actual story, when the sprite presents you as having cool anime glasses that shine. 3 and I make 4. Seems we're missing the captain. Before I could take a few steps further, the sea lion stood from his seat and approached. Morning. I take it you're our last member. He extended an arm forward. Hugo Wagner's the name. Pleasure to meet you. I simply stared at his outstretched flipper. Not too keen on contact, eh? I can respect that. Can I get a name at least? Judah. Well, make yourself at home, Judah. Gil, be the charming gentleman you always are and introduce yourself. That won't be necessary. Let's just say we've already got our introductions out of the way. Gil gave a sheepish grin and looked away while Hugo eyed him suspiciously. What on earth did you get into? Nothing serious, alright? Jeez. Very well. Anyways, Judah. Hugo pushed a chair towards me and motioned for me to sit. I'm good. He shrugged. Suit yourself, chum. The sea lion reached to his seat and lazily leaned back, casting a half glance in my direction. Sea otter, huh? Long way from the sea. Say the same to you. Born and raised in Ovation. In Ovation, huh? Never once touched the ocean. Not much of a sea lion now am I? How about you? Crater Hope. Ah. Hugo fell silent at that. I'm guessing there's not much left of Crater Hope. We just skipped right over introducing ourselves to the third character. Where's the cap? We should be leaving for Bug Country soon, yeah? Relax, it's a few minutes before our briefing scheduled. Punctuality and all, not a moment before or after. God help if you're late, though. Can't wait to get this over with. You scared? I'd be stupid not to, man. Need a drink to help with the nerves? Ugh. Not sure I need caffeine in me at this time. Hugo took a swig and coughed. Would kill for a bit of liquid courage right about now. You still drink? Not anymore, my friend. Would that I could. Though who knows? Maybe I could sneak a quick sip between deployment every now and then. You asking to get your ass booted? Not at this point, though. I prefer to die with something numbing my system. Rather not be too sobered up in case something gets me. The sea lion smirked as he made a crunching noise. Well, if you're off your rocker, something is definitely gonna kill you. Hey, this would be relatively painless. Dying a drunken bastard? That's how you want to go. I mean, how does anyone want to go? Some flair, man. Make it a spectacle at least. Or at least something instantaneous so I can get it over with. How about you? Prefer it when I'm older. Much older. One of those inner city residential units over in Ovation. You know, those damn fine luxury houses. Yes. There in my gold-flaked blanket on a bed the size of an AT, passing into the next life after one final sip of some premium top-shelf liquor. Some vodka, preferably. Gil scoffed. I mean, how you'd prefer dying out there, smartass? Hey, you said how I'd prefer it. Suppose it's all just a fantasy anyhow. And you, Judah? How do you prefer to shuffle off this mortal coil? What does it matter? I mean, what the hell kind of question is that? Hey, just try to make conversation. About how I'm gonna kick the fucking bucket? How we're all gonna kick the bucket? Maybe I'd rather not think about being torn apart by one of those fucking things right before getting shipped out on the godforsaken wasteland, you twat. So if you want to check this game out, there's a link in the description.